Find us.
Fine. So everyone, welcome back to the stream. Today we are welcomed by Will Nace and Bryan. I am going to link Will Nace's YouTube channel in the comments. You guys can go ahead and check his out. He does all sorts of stuff with venomous snakes, crocodilians, you name it, he probably does it. So I kind of want to start this out. Bryan is Will Nace's venomous snake apprentice, and like, how did you guys meet? Like, what got you guys started in all this? And
Instagram. I just harassed him on Instagram all the time. I texted him nonstop, and then finally, because he didn't need an apprentice at the time. Every time I texted him, and then he posted a thing saying I need an apprentice. So I was like, oh.
Because I couldn't remember his Instagram, so I just posted on my Instagram, and there was a bunch of people that messaged me, but I was looking for him, and he finally answered, and I was like, oh, there he is.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys were talking before Bryan became your apprentice, is what you're like?
Yeah. Because he really, really wanted to start learning venomous, and you had emailed a lot of people, right? Almost every person in the state of Florida that keeps venomous, because it's all public record. And I think me and then our friend Ryan are the only ones that got back to him. Oh, and Michael, yeah. But then I was like, I started getting overwhelmed with stuff, and I was like, let me just put it out there and see if he sees it or whatever. And sure enough, he did.
Right. That's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like it can be pretty hard to get an apprenticeship when it comes to venomous snakes. Like, even if there was a lot of people who do venomous, like, not all of them would want an apprentice, because
that's mostly like a Florida thing. In Florida, you have to apprentice under somebody for at least 1,000 hours or a year. And in other states, you can just go apply for a permit. You don't necessarily need the apprenticeship. So anytime anybody ever asks me, I always say it's always good to apprentice. This way you get
the experience
before you just jump into owning these things.
Definitely. I can 100% agree with that. And like, I feel like it's the same with crocodilians in Florida, right? You need an apprentice to do some work with them. And you're also liable for Bryan, right? Like, if he gets bit, you're liable for it.
I mean, there's paperwork that gets signed beforehand, but yes. It still will go on my record that somebody got bit at my facility.
Right. So like, how would that work? Like, let's say he gets bit, he's in the hospital, like, would you have to do a bunch of paperwork?
I would have to call the state and report it, because no matter what, you're supposed to report bites if it's anything exotic. But it's the same aspect. Like, if a dog bites somebody, you're supposed to report that dog. Same thing,
right.
With all animals. It's based on the state. Again, the state you're in and the rules they have that you have to like follow and abide by. I always abide by the rules, so I would call the inspectors, let them know, hey, my apprentice got bit by this snake, this date, this time. We're at this hospital, and then go from there.
Right. That makes sense. And is it like, because I know with sometimes dogs, the dog will have to be put down or something similar like that. Does that go for the venomous snakes as well?
Not necessarily. At least 50% of the time, a lot of the times a snake bites somebody, they die. It's really weird. It's not always the case, but it does happen more than you would think. Like my friend Michael, he got bit by another friend's big albino eastern diamondback rattlesnake. The next day, the snake died. It was the healthiest big albino rattlesnake you'd ever see. For some reason, he just died after he bit my friend. So it was really weird. But
why do you have any suspicions on like why it happens?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
It's weird.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
It's a very odd thing, but it's happened in a lot of cases. It really has.
Huh. That's crazy. So I think like that pretty much sums up like how you guys met. So, like, you just do venomous snakes now, right? Like, as your reptile thing.
I have my own crocodilians and turtles and stuff. We have a bunch of other animals too. But mostly on my YouTube channel, it's mostly just venomous snakes.
And do you like do any like snake stuff for work, or is that just like your hobby?
If you consider YouTube work.
Right.
But I started building vivariums and stuff as a profession too, so that's kind of where I'm steering more towards.
Right. And Bryan, what about you? Like, what are your work things and like?
I just got actually a new job. I kind of work at it's like a Wild West bar. So like I run food at a bar.
Like a saloon.
Yeah, it's like a saloon.
Right. So not really reptile related.
No, I wish.
Right. So I mean, like, if you guys could just like tell me like what animals you keep, like how long you've been keeping, like stuff like that.
I mean, I've been keeping professionally on the books a little over 10 years now. I mean, off the books, probably about 13 or 14 years. But I also lived like on the Indian reservation, and you don't need licenses and stuff there. So that's kind of the factor why. How long have you been keeping now? A couple years.
I've been keeping since I was 6 years old.
6 years old. Okay.
So I'm 18. So
yeah,
about 12 years. Right?
I'm going on 10 and a half now.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, if we're talking about reptiles, I've had them since I was a little kid too, but I'm talking about venomous. That's what I was talking about.
Right. I mean,
reptiles as a whole, I think my sister bought me my first leopard gecko. God, how old was I? I had to be 6 or 7, and that was the first thing. And she's like, if you keep this alive, you'll move on to the next thing. I was like, okay. And that's kind of how it started.
Was your sister into reptiles before you?
Oh, yeah. She got her venomous license when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Wait, how old is your sister?
She's 10 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
She got it when she was fresh 18.
Yeah, she got it like right when she turned 18. She worked for a big reptile store down here called Underground Reptiles.
Right.
And yeah, her being there for so long, she got her permits right away. Yeah, and that was pretty much it for me. I walked into a room one day and I heard a bunch of rattlesnakes, and I was like, what is that?
Is the system for permitting the same as it was back then, or has it changed a lot?
It's a lot harder. Back then, you needed 1,000 hours for all species of venomous animals. Now you need 1,000 hours per family, which changed.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. I think it changed in 2014 or 2015, I think is when it changed.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Jesus. And Bryan, what family are you doing now? Or like?
I'm doing Lapidae and Viperidea. So just those two.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to get 2,000 hours in total.
Yeah.
Jesus. I did not know that. That's a lot.
Which I have.
It flies by. It goes quicker than you think.
Like I have mostly Viperidea over Lapidae.
Right.
So he's got more Viper. Like he's probably done with it, but he still needs a year of working with it.
I'm pretty close. I'm not done, but I'm pretty close.
Like you still, even because he took a test. There's a test you can take to knock off 500 hours.
500?
500 hours, yeah. You can have any class of animal here in Florida.
I passed the test.
Yeah, he passed the test. It's pretty easy. It's like from the 70s or something.
Can you tell me like what that test entails?
Huh?
What does the test entail?
It's actually really funny. Like some of the questions are so obvious. Like if you know what a snake is, you can answer the question. You know what I mean?
It was like, a snake or a reptile that is a high humid reptile. Do you give it a little water bowl, B, a big water bowl, or C, a medium sized water bowl?
No, it's like C, no water bowl.
Or C, no water. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
What?
Yeah.
And then that's 500 hours.
The first couple questions, I was like, it can't be this easy. And then I got more and more through. I'm like, okay, it's this easy.
Yeah.
Dude, wait. So that simple test knocks off 500 hours.
And you can take it for venomous, for crocodilians, for big cats. Yeah, you can take it for everything. But you still need a year working with them.
Yeah.
That's scary. Like
a little bit.
That is like, sheesh.
Yeah, it's also Florida, so it's like you can't own half the stuff you want to own anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah. How are the legislations going down there? Like, is there any more in place, or are they?
They just banned diamondback terrapins.
Did they ban them all together?
Mm-hmm.
I thought
terrapins.
Nope. Diamondback.
That's so specific. Why terrapins?
They said they were tired of people taking them out of the wild. Now, mind you, the original law they were trying to pass was that the people that catch crabs in the area that they are in had to modify their traps so that the turtles could get out and wouldn't drown. So the crab industry threw enough of a fit about it that they tossed theirs aside and said, well, we'll revisit this later. But because the reptile community as a whole can't stick together enough as a whole and didn't make enough stink about it, they passed the other half, which was just prohibiting keeping them at all.
I think that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, like,
it's a turtle, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, but like all these reptile keepers, you know, they're complaining about these legislations and all the new laws and like, oh, I can't keep this. Why can't I keep that? But then they don't do jack shit.
That's a wasp.
What?
That was a wasp.
Are you scared of wasps?
It's
a mud
it
dauber.
just flew
It's a
by.
mud dauber. It's not a wasp.
Oh, you're right. It is a mud dauber.
Yeah.
So you work with cobras, but wasps are a big no-no.
Yeah, apparently. You big baby.
That's the newest law. Like,
Huh?
has there been any other laws like recently? I mean, I know the iguana and tegu thing was like a huge deal.
Yeah, it was everything that was on the conditional license, which I've always had. Nile monitors, green anacondas, Burmese pythons. No, not yellow anacondas. They weren't on it at all. Retics, scrubs, all that stuff.
Scrubs as well?
Scrubs, rock pythons. They were all not prohibited. Prohibited species. So basically, you had to have a special license to own them, and you had to like document everything if you bred them, if anything. And then out of nowhere, they came and said that they were banning yellow anacondas all of a sudden.
I remember that.
They never said anything about it other than they're strictly banned now. And everybody was like, wait, what? Like a lot of people had yellow anacondas because they're easier to get than the green anacondas because you didn't need a license for them. And then first it was that. And then all of a sudden it was just getting rid of the prohibited species stuff. You know, like I just said, all those animals. And then pretty much the whole reason me and Summer are opening this facility is because I've had a Burmese python that I've had since he was a little neonate that I caught out in the wild here in Florida and kept. And he's a big puppy dog. He's a big male, about 11 feet long.
Right.
And
he's great.
He's great, yeah. And I was like, I don't want to get rid of the snake that I've literally spent the past 10 years raising because of it. So here we are.
So what are you guys are opening a facility, or like what are your guys' plans for that? Like how are you guys going to go about that?
Well, we actually just got approved for our nonprofit, so we're going to do a nonprofit too, because a lot of the stuff we take in are rescues. All the mammals are all rescues. A lot of the reptiles are rescues. So we take in so much rescues that it's like, I mean, I'm at the point right now. I'm literally turning animals down because I don't have cages built yet.
I don't
have the room for them right now. So, it's a lot. It really is.
I can imagine. So are you guys planning to be like a rescue type deal where people can also like buy animals from you, or just like a zoo?
If an animal comes in and isn't fixed, we get them fixed usually right away. Like we're actually in the next week or two taking in about 6 new foxes. None of them are
6?
Yeah, we already have 3. We're not keeping them all. We're gonna get them fixed, make sure they have a clean bill of health, and then find homes for them with either friends we know or other sanctuaries.
Wow.
But like none of them are neutered or anything are fixed, so we're gonna get a bunch of them fixed before any of that stuff happens.
Yeah, I can imagine that is quite a lot of work and quite expensive.
Yeah.
So do you guys just take mammals or reptiles or everything?
Pretty much anything. I mean, I have 2 ducks that walk around my property that were rescues too. So
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was before or maybe during when the whole tegu iguana ban thing was happening. They were in the talks of saying like any species that the FWC sees fit to live in the Florida ecosystem, they can ban without going to court. Like what that got dropped.
They were trying to do that. But then their biologists said that, like, for example, the Burmese python could live all the way up to, I think it was like North Carolina or something.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
What?
stupid. But because these people have a biology in this stuff, they think that, they're right, but they're wrong, clearly. Because,
North
Yeah.
Carolina?
yeah, they think that Burmese pythons could survive in North Carolina.
You don't even see them up here.
Yeah, they can't even survive up here. So and I'm an hour north of where they're located.
Yeah, so are Burmese pythons pretty like restricted in location in Florida?
Pretty much, yeah. They say they found a couple up in North Florida, but obviously it was someone's pet got out, and they found it before winter hit. But
Right.
I mean, they're pretty populated to the South Glades, and that's it. Like, I've heard people find them up here, but like, put it this way: if you drive in the South Glades, almost every night you'll see one. Up here, it's like maybe they find one every 2 years.
Yeah, it's super rare.
Yeah, and it's probably, again, someone's pet they got out or they released or something. It's not the population moving north. So,
Right. Yeah, and like I heard some people talking about like how the Burmese pythons got out and all that, and like some people are saying like there was during the hurricanes like some big breeding facilities got run down, and like that's how most of them got out. Like, what are your guys?
it's a little bit of both. I mean, yes, that did happen. A lot of people did actually get them, didn't realize how big they get, let them go, like sulcatas.
Right.
That you can go to Central Florida and there's wild populations
You
of
can find 'em
sulcata
here.
Wait,
tortoises.
seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because people don't realize how big they get, and they go and release them.
That's impulse buying for you.
Yeah. And now the mud dauber's on the computer.
He's almost on your face,
Yeah.
literally.
It's kind of funny.
That's
But
crazy. I mean, I feel like a lot of large reptiles are invasive in Florida.
yeah,
Like that's just like perfect habitat for them.
yeah. And to my knowledge, they've never found a yellow anaconda in the wild in Florida.
No.
Have they found green?
I think they found like 2. Yeah. So it's
Probably
like,
just released pets, like not a population.
I mean, there's actually populations of red-tailed boas, but they're not prohibited or
Yeah.
banned.
Right. That I remember that.
Yeah, my buddy found one in
I found numerous red-tails.
They're pretty restricted though, right? Like to their
No,
location.
You can go to any pet store and buy one. Doesn't matter.
I mean, like they're wild populations in Florida. Like
I mean, it's, again, South Glades, Miami area. Yeah.
right. Is that just because like it's the temperature, like it's too cold up where you guys are?
Yeah. Let me kill this damn thing. Of course he flies back by me. How did you get in here? He up here it
Here he
gets
comes.
what?
Right there.
Oh, up here it gets probably in like the high 30s. I think is like on the really coldest days,
Yeah.
but it stays colder throughout the day than it does an hour south of here.
Right.
So like it'll stay in like the 40s or 50s in Broward and Miami, but up here just it's a little bit colder. But we also have the Gulf Stream like right next to us here as well, which brings a lot of stuff in. So, I mean, I don't even think you can find populations of chameleons up here because it gets too cold.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
I'm not
and-
looking forward to.
Are you guys like worried that they're gonna come down on like your venomous snakes and those things?
I think it's going to happen sooner than most people realize. I know I'm fine because I'm opening up a facility or a zoo,
Right.
mind you. That's another big kind of reason why we wanted to, because I hear the next thing on the chopping block is Asian water monitors. So, why I don't know, but again, because think about it, Nile monitors are banned, but
Really?
Asian water monitor, yeah, you can't. They're on that list too.
Is there like an invasive population of them, or just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. He brought me one
The other
the
day.
other day, a beautiful male, like super high yellow.
Super good.
And I
looking.
called to report it because it was caught in a town right next to where we are. And I was like, can I keep this thing? I have my license for prohibited. I've always had Niles on there. I know the law has just changed, but like I already have the permit to keep, tegus, this big snakes, and so on and so forth. And they're like, well, let me find out this and that. And he calls me back like a couple hours later. He's like, yeah, we have to euthanize it. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I can't keep this damn thing. And he's like, no. He's like, can you euthanize it? And I was like, no. I was like, if you guys want to kill it, you can come kill it. Like, I can't just kill an animal like that. I'm sorry. So
it's like, at least to me, I think that's pretty ridiculous. I think at this point, it's not even about Florida trying to do like good for the ecosystem.
No, they're not, because they spray harsh chemicals every day, somewhere,
through the Everglades.
Yep,
all sorts of things, splitting the ecosystem up.
Yep,
getting more land for crops and housing.
Trust me, I know. It sucks. It really does.
It does, and I think to me at least, like the most upsetting thing is like it's getting to the point where like you're starting to feel helpless. Like what can I really do? And like that's one of the big things that I think like why people should really support USARK and like all that they're doing, because like they're pretty much our last hope. I mean, like
yeah. I mean, I've been in this battle now for a little over 10 years, going to meetings, saying my piece, any type of anything I could do to be heard about law changes and just different things when it comes to regulation of animals or whatever. And this, since COVID, and they started all these just straight banding stuff. And finally I got in on one of those digital things. Well, no, I mean, I was getting in on them, but I go to, there was one, I can't remember which one it was. It might've been the actual prohibiting everything or banning everything. I was at work and I took an extra long lunch break just to do this meeting. And finally they picked on me when I did the hand raise thing on Zoom or whatever. And I said, you say your name and your question or whatever. So I said my name and I said, listen, I was like, I'm a class 1, class 2, class 3. I have my VRC, I have my conditional, I have every single permit that you guys issue in the state of Florida. And normally when they let these meetings go, they send out emails, multiple emails. There was no emails. There was no nothing. I said, I have all these permits. And I was like, I have, FWC has 2 or 3 of my emails. So I get it to every single email I have. So I know when these meetings happen. I said, how come I didn't get a notification about this email? I was like, and I know a lot of people in here didn't, because if it wasn't for me finding out about this meeting, a lot of the people that are in here wouldn't know about this meeting right now, because I put it on blast as soon as I found out about it.
Right.
And they're like, oh no, everybody was sent the emails. If you have your permit and you're a class holder, you have your permit. These emails were sent out. And I was like, no, they were not sent out. I was like, I will send you screenshots of my emails right now. And they immediately muted me and kicked me out of the meeting. And then some other lady came on that wouldn't show her face, that was working for the state, and was like, nope, everybody got sent these emails. Everybody did. We made sure of it. But then a bunch of people you could see in the comment section was like, I didn't get an email about it either. And they were all permit holders. And then ever since then, I haven't been able to get into a digital meeting. Even Summer hasn't been able to either.
That's ridiculous. And like, why do you think they're doing this? Because like, I mean, we all know it's not for the environment and
money.
Yeah.
But like,
money.
You think they're losing money because like,
Nope.
Don't you have to pay for your permits?
Organizations like PETA and all these animal activists who have a lot of money because they get a lot of supporters, they come together for a common goal in their eyes, where it's like we as the animal industry can't come together at all. So they have money, they have the numbers, and I mean, think about it. Think if everybody donated to USARK, how much more it would be unified. Where it's like these people that think that animals shouldn't be owned by people are more unified than we are, so they're going to always win. It's that simple.
Yeah, to be honest, like I got to pay a huge amount of respect to Nerd New England Reptile Distributors. Like, I feel like out of most of the people in the hobby, they've probably done some of the most for USARK.
But the same thing that happened to me, like not being able to get into meetings. Kevin can't get into them either.
Seriously.
Because he, again, spoke up and was like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, you're so wrong. And they kicked him out, and he hasn't been able to get into one.
What about, like, the other nerd members, like Rob and those guys?
Rob falls in. So, like, Kevin, I'm sure if you know, he's not on social media a lot or that kind of stuff. He does his own stuff. Rob is. So, Rob sees this stuff. Jeremy sees this stuff. But Kevin, unfortunately, he only knows about it when somebody finds out about it. I told him about the Diamondback terrapin thing when we were up there when we met you, and he was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "No, dude." I was like, "They're just straight banning Diamondback terrapins now." Because what day did we move, Jeremy? Was that Friday?
I think it was Friday. Yeah.
That Friday there was the meeting for the Diamondback terrapins, and I sent in a request that morning, and I was denied. It was before you even woke up, Bryan. I sent in a request, and they sent me an email back saying your request has been denied to join this meeting.
That's fucked.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said something in one video.
And do you know? I'm sure you know him. Carlos Michelson. He's a big tegu breeder down in Florida.
It sounds familiar. I'm horrible with names. I'm better with faces.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm horrible with names.
What does he look like?
He's Hispanic. I don't know how tall he is.
Is he more heavy set?
A little bit, yeah.
He's a bald guy, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think he's down in Miami.
Yeah, he is. He runs Tropical Reptiles Florida.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He fought really hard for like the whole tegu and iguana ban because like his livelihood is based on that. And I remember I was watching his Instagram lives because he was posting them when he was on call, and like they just do not give a shit about what we say. Like, oh, it's so frustrating because like you see these people who are trying so hard and like even being calm and like respectful to the other people's thoughts, but they just like don't care. And I think it's oh man.
I mean, I even did a video because the guys from Underground Reptiles, again, they've known me since I was a little kid, the owner and stuff, because my sister, and I went and did a video, was it a couple months ago now, right?
Yeah.
A couple months ago, I brought him over there for the first time. And we talked about like the tegu stuff briefly, but some of the bigger monitor breeders or tegu breeders, they're actually going to be buying property out of state to continue breeding out of state.
That's smart,
It's like people like Carlos and smaller people who do this still for a living don't have the money to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was like the most ridiculous part of the tegu ban? I don't know if you heard this, but like for a while they were talking about you can keep them, but you have to build a building and it has to have like a 4-foot brick wall going up it. And
no, it's not that bad. It's worse than that, actually.
Seriously?
So he has a tegu. He didn't even know about all this stuff happening.
Like I heard about it, but I wasn't like 100% sure what I had to do.
So we had to help him fill out all his paperwork. We had to help him get his tegu chipped and everything. So if you have a tegu and you keep it outside, like I keep mine inside in my snake building.
You have a tegu?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
cool.
sleeps. It was a rescue. He sleeps in one of the big vision cages, but most of the time he walks around the room. He's fine. He's a puppy dog. And if you keep them out, inside's fine. You can keep them whatever you want inside. Outside, it has to be a concrete floor that's at least 2 inches thick. The walls have to
wait. Sorry, 2 inches?
2 inches thick.
Tegus are not Godzilla.
The walls have to be at least 4 foot tall and 8 inches thick of concrete.
What? That's like, and I remember Carlos, or at least in my mind, I remember this. He was saying like, if you have tegus, like you need to get that done within this time period. And it was like 6 months or 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's already up.
Yep. It's over. It has to be done.
It has to be done.
Like, there's also now I'm hearing there's an equivalent to that. If you have like the proper gauged wire, apparently you can do something different. I'm not sure exactly how much that is, but like you also have to pull your pairs apart. You cannot house a male and a female together. If you do, it's
so you can't pair them.
Nope.
It isn't.
You cannot breed them at all.
It's like a felony offense if you do that.
Yep. Like you can keep 2 females together and you can keep 2 males together, but you cannot keep a male and a female together.
Even if they're neutered? I mean, you can't really neuter a lizard.
No, you can't. You just at all. Like they just.
It's
right. You can't really put reptiles under anesthesia.
And and there's lots of other reptiles on this. Like another one of the law changes, like red-eared sliders.
Right.
Mind you, they are native to North Florida. Okay. they're all over Florida. Like
Mhm.
I can go to my local park and there's hundreds in the pond at the park, right?
Right.
Everywhere.
So if you have a red-eared slider, it has to be kept in pretty much a prison as well. And you are not allowed to drain the water from that enclosure onto the ground or from his pond or whatever.
So what do you do with it?
Ground. I
Just-
don't know.
Like, can you put it in your sink? Like, drain it down the sink?
I don't have a sink outside next to a turtle enclosure. Right?
I guess they expect you to just evaporate it with your mind, you know.
I wouldn't be in this industry if I could do that.
That's,
Yeah, it's the
I mean,
laws are literally, they make no sense at
in
all.
Europe, there's some laws putting in place, and the UK. Do you know RSPCA?
Mm-hmm.
The UK is facing some shit from them right now, and France, I think it was, just like banned most exotic invertebrates like tarantulas and scorpions and centipedes and things like that.
It gets too cold for that stuff outside anyway, doesn't it? There?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And red-eared sliders, and actually like yellow belly sliders and all sliders, are completely banned in all of Europe, because in like 4 countries they're invasive. And I wouldn't even call them like invasive at this point. I would call them like introduced, because like they don't really do that much. You know, they've been there for so long, and like they've just like part of the ecosystem now.
Like iguanas.
Exactly. And you know, that's a big thing that I talk about, is like the main problem iguanas face is like they eat people's crops.
Not even, they eat their flower beds and they poop on their cars, so it's a problem. Or they poop on their pool deck. Come on. So now nobody in the state of Florida can own iguanas.
How are like cyclura and those things doing? Like, are those
as far as I know, they're okay. I've never owned them, so I've never, like, I don't know, I don't care for iguanas as a whole. Not saying I don't care, but like as for owning them personally, I don't care for them. Like if somebody was like, "Oh, I have this rescue," I'd be like, "Okay, sure."
Right.
I'm not going to willingly go out and buy them. Because I mean, I've never seen cycloras in the wild here.
What is that? That's rhino iguanas?
The rhino iguanas, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen any.
And the rocks as well, right?
The spiny tails, like all over the place.
Oh yeah, spiny tails. I've seen them everywhere. I've never been there, but like in videos, you know, you see them everywhere.
Yeah, no, they're all over the place. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the only 2 types of iguanas I've ever personally seen in the wild. And I used to be a trapper too, so
right.
It's, I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, it's all so stupid. It really is.
Yeah. And you know what I thought was the most ridiculous part of any law in Florida was like people like Carlos, like he put a lot of effort into solving invasive problems. Like iguanas, he's a trapper. Like he traps them, brings them in, takes them out the ecosystem, you know? But they don't want their help. Like they don't want our help, even though we're offering to help solve the problem.
That's why, did you know if I were to go out to a park and catch a Burmese python, I would get most likely a huge fine for that?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm removing a Burmese python from the Everglades?
You were telling me that when I was talking about going looking for him. You were like, just don't get caught.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Don't get caught.
Yeah, so I went actually with my girlfriend, and we seen a bunch of people fishing there, and we heard there was burns in the spot, so we went there. And FWC officer came up to us and was like, "Hey, you're on private property." It was like, it wasn't private property, but he was trying to say it was. And I had a snake hook, and he's like, "What is that?" I was like, "It's a snake hook. I'm trying to find Burmese pythons." He's like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm like, Central Inn.
So it's a problem, but we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm like, they're invasive. He's like, "It doesn't matter." Okay. I never heard about this, but you can't even fix the problem.
Right. So like, you sometimes collect berms to like feed to your cobras, right? Your kings?
I don't. A
Or
buddy
you
of
get them
mine.
from other people?
Huh?
You get them from other people?
Yeah, I get him from my buddy Kevin, who is actually, he holds the state record for the most berms caught and the biggest caught on record. I know bigger ones that were caught, but they weren't put on record. So
Right. So, like, would it be illegal to go out and find a baby and kill it to feed it to your snake? That's illegal.
Technically, yeah. It's pretty
Oh.
stupid, right? Yeah.
My brain hurts thinking about it. It's like, yeah, pretty counterintuitive. And what I found funny when I started to like learn about these problems and like all these things happening was like the problems they're blaming on reptiles are caused by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like decrease of wildlife. Well, maybe because you're putting roads through the Everglades and splitting up the ecosystem and yada yada yada. So
Shh. My munchkin woke up. Sorry.
it's fine, man. No problem.
I've been preaching this from the beginning, from when all this ban stuff started happening. I was like, oh, they're going to ban iguanas and all this other stuff. I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever, because you're going to triple the population, because all of those people that keep iguanas or have iguanas or whatever,
We're not going to go through the registration process.
They're like, and they're going to be like, all right, well, I don't want to get arrested and I don't want my iguana to be killed. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go let it go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. That's what the other
that happened with tegus as well, right?
Yeah, same thing with tegus, all that stuff. I saw a post the other day. Somebody found a big blue iguana out in the wild. I'm like, well, that was someone's pet. They clearly let go.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I heard there was like small populations of reds in Florida.
I've never seen them.
I've seen
like a few videos of guys who caught like big red males.
Oh, I mean, if it's a dominant male, they'll sometimes just change that color, but they're not like the red gene.
Okay, right. Yeah,
they were like giant big bull males. Yeah, they'll be like either a bright orange or like an orangish red color.
Right.
But that's only because they're the dominant male and they've been alive for a long time.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So that does happen, yes.
Yeah.
But this one I saw a picture of was like blue.
Right. Like, yeah, in the blue gene.
Pet.
I actually saw one guy who found like a Tom Crutchfield Crimson. And I was shocked when I saw it. And I thought like there's no way this is a wild thing. Like it's probably just his and he's making a joke. But I saw it somewhere on Instagram and like this guy just like claimed to have found a baby crimson out in the wild, which I thought was ridiculous because like those are like.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it escaped from like Tom's house and the guy was somewhere around Tom's house. But other than that,
yeah. But like, I mean, even then, like Tom's pretty good.
Out the door,
yeah. He sells those things for like $5,000 a piece.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna joke around with losing those things.
Yeah, find a wild blackhead, man.
Snatch that success with blackheads.
Oh. Kind of gonna switch the topic to a more happy zone, but like where do you guys like see yourselves going in like, I don't know, let's say 15 years? Like where do you want to be with your careers and life?
You want to go first?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I definitely hope to have my permits within the next 15 years.
If you don't, I would be concerned.
Yeah, I'll probably have it done by next year. But I don't know. Maybe I'll open up something. I have no idea. Honestly, I'm too young. I have no idea. I'll probably be working for Will though.
Remember, he's younger than you, so you can't say that.
Oh yeah.
What did he say?
More than me.
Coral, Summer, can you take her, please?
No, Coral.
What did you say, Bryan?
I always forget that you're younger than me. I always think I'm the young one. But I don't know. I'll probably be working for Will though.
You think you're still going to be working for Will in 15 years?
Maybe I'll be running his zoo.
My wife's like, yes.
Will, how does that make you feel?
I'll probably be dead, so who knows?
He'll be retired, chilling with Coral and Summer by the pool, and I'll just be running the chaos here.
Right.
Maybe.
Your
Sounds
back's
about right.
walk.
Oh, is that Foxy, Coral?
Oh.
Yes, I know. Here.
So, is Summer's your wife, right?
Yes.
So, is she also into reptiles and all that stuff, or?
Yeah, not huge into them like I am. She likes mostly like dart frogs and stuff.
Right.
I have experience before you though. So
Yes, I know, honey. She's saying she's whispering sweet nothings to me.
It was
No,
the foxes
she
were her
went
thing, right?
for
In the
that,
beginning.
Say what?
Sorry, the foxes were her thing in the beginning, right?
Yeah, I got the first one as a birthday gift for her. And then 2 weeks later, FWC called me and asked me if I wanted another one. And of course, she said yes because he was super nice and he was a red fox. And then a couple months down the road, or it was like a year down the road, we thought the female was too young to breed, but I guess we were wrong, and she popped out Loki.
Right.
We had 3.
So what's your setup for them like? Do you just have like a big outdoor enclosure, or is it like specific?
Yeah, it's 30 foot by
Holy shit.
15 foot by 10 foot tall.
Dude, that's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
You cannot tell that it's that large by the videos.
No, it's not even done yet. I got to finish it. I'm hoping to finish it in the next couple of weeks because price of wood's been so high, it finally has gone down.
Right. Man, I've been seeing that everywhere. Like guys trying to build like monitor setups, you know, for like big lizards, and like just a few pieces of wood is like thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah. We haven't been able, because the pieces I've been looking for have been the 16 foot 2x6s, and they've been out of stock for like the past couple months. And then finally, the other day I went to look at wood and it finally was in stock again. And I was like, oh, yes. And I looked at the price and I was like, oh, and it went down because originally they were like under $20. And then they jumped up to almost like $40 for one. And I was like, that's insane. For a sheet of plywood, it was like $100 for one sheet.
Wait, seriously?
Yep.
That bad?
Yep.
You can't build stuff. You got 10 sheets of plywood. That's $1,000. Holy crap.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Why did it jump?
I guess the wood industry was trying to make back the money they lost during COVID by not selling stuff. I mean, that's the only thing I can figure.
Right, so they can pop the price up.
Yeah. I mean, because think about it, houses still need to be built. Things
Right.
still need to be done. So people were paying those prices.
Man, I feel bad for anyone who built a house during those times. That must have run them hundreds of thousands.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why think about it, when stuff like that happens, then the prices of houses go up and everything like that. So everything goes up usually.
Do you think that's why because my family's looking to buy a house now, and like
Oh, that's right.
the market went like
Mhm.
way up.
Yeah, it should start coming down here soon.
Yeah. It's coming down here as well.
Also around every election, that usually tends to happen too. So that also has a factor with it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She's sitting there eating a lollipop under my desk.
So, Bryan, question for you.
Yes.
You don't keep any, like, you don't have any venomous stuff now, even if it's at Will's house, right? Like, you just have your.
No.
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah, every time you see something, every time you see something, he's like, "Oh, I really want this." I was like, "Just wait."
I'm like,
Just
Will,
wait.
look what I found. Look what I found. I'm like, you should get this, and I'll buy it off of you when I get my permits. He's like,
And Will refuses?
I have the space.
Oh, you already made me buy you that Amidites,
That's true.
so you could buy it back when you get your permit.
Amidites. Those are pythons, right?
No,
No,
it's
it's,
European Viper.
European Viper.
Oh, those are yours?
I have one that I bought for him, and then when he gets his permit, he's gonna buy it back from me.
Oh, right. They're Vipera species, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. I sent you a video.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I remember those, yeah.
Yeah, those ones.
Those are definitely my favorite venomous snakes. Like anything from that genus. Oh, they look so sick.
Did you see the red ones?
Yeah, the red ones are pretty.
Ryan's got red ones.
Wait, red ones?
Yes, red.
You got to send me a photo when this is done.
I'll send you his a couple pictures from his profile.
Sure, thanks.
Oh, Ryan's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like really good.
You keep pygmy? You have pygmy rattlesnake, right?
I have one, yeah. I've always only kept one. I never really wanted a pair or anything like that.
Why? They're awesome.
Because they're little. I can go down the street and find them.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. They're everywhere down here.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
We caught this one down the street, and I brought it back. So I was like, "Oh, I think it's gravid. I'd love to raise like a newborn pygmy because they're
Okay, those things must be like the size of a quarter.
they're tiny. They're smaller than a quarter. I was like, that'd be such a cool like experience because I've never raised, a pygmy rattlesnake before.
You'd have to feed those mouse tails, right? Like pieces of
Yeah,
mouse
something small like that, or mouse leg pieces or whatever. A lot of times, though, for stuff that small, you have to start them on insects. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we kept her and brought her back to the house, and she laid, I think it was like 10 or 11 slugs, and I was like, yeah. So then I ended up keeping her. So, yeah. But we ended up keeping her, and she's doing great. I mean, she's the only snake I have that eats live. I've tried to feed her frozen thawed and everything. She won't take it.
Yeah, sure.
Have you tried like frozen thawed like anoles or something like that?
Yeah. That's how I switched the kings over.
Right.
Sorry.
It's fine.
That's how I switched the kings over and stuff like that from when they're babies. But for those guys, where they're found really isn't. There really isn't anoles out there in the mass amount that you would think. Because literally out in the middle of sugarcane fields is where you find pygmies. So there's sugarcane fields all around here. But because they burn them so much constantly, there is house geckos out there though. I know that much. But yeah, anoles, haven't really seen too many of them.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, not really. They're invasive too.
Well, green anoles aren't, right?
Green anoles aren't, no, but the brown anoles are.
Right.
Very rare. I've seen a couple green anoles here on the new property. I was pretty happy about.
Yeah, you hardly ever see the greens.
Yeah.
Do you see basilisks or?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place here.
Yeah.
Browns and greens or just browns?
Just the browns, right? I haven't seen a green one. Yeah.
I've seen neon yellow ones in my house.
Yeah, but those are the browns. They're still the browns.
Oh, okay.
Shit, I mean, we've seen 6 or 7 different species of snakes on this property. Iguanas, the anoles, Cuban tree frogs, bufo toads.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, this is like a bunch of different stuff just here.
We haven't seen a coral snake yet.
Yeah, I was really
surprised we haven't.
Found a snake the other day I've never even heard of. A native snake here in Florida. Yeah, it was like this red, beautiful, like copper-colored pine snake. Never seen one in my 30s.
Is it a gopher?
No. It was some type of pine snake. I remember looking it up, but I was
we've seen 2 of
them.
them.
I saw 2 of them, yeah.
And then we seen, it was either 2 or 3 scarlet snakes.
Dude, lucky, man.
No, we haven't seen any scarlet snakes.
Or scarlet.
They were just the milk snakes.
Okay, I've been searching really hard to find some scarlet snakes because we have them on the property I'm on now. There's been one sighting of one in someone's house, and I want to find one so bad. But all I can find is like shit ton of water snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see on your story, all the water snakes.
Oh yeah, there's like 2 of them that hang around in the same spot, and like pretty big female. So she's always a pleasure to see. But
yeah.
But I think
actually we haven't seen any water snakes here. Really pretty garter snakes.
Oh yeah, we've seen
black racers. There's a lot of stuff snakes we've seen.
Do you guys have the Temnophis?
Yeah, I'm horrible.
Wait. Temnophis sertalis. That's
which one's that?
Those are the eastern garters.
Yeah, we have those.
Yeah, that's what's here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we saw the big shed for, and then found the snake a few minutes later.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've been finding those as well. Yeah. I saw one that reminded me a lot of like a red-sided. It was gorgeous. Had some of the nicest reds I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. I mean, this is only an acre and a half, but we're
only an acre and a half, you know.
Yeah, no, it's right next to a 5-acre piece of property that's like all overgrown, so there's a lot of wildlife in there.
Oh, that's nice.
Cool. Like we have barred owls that'll come and sit in our trees at night. We hear ospreys all the time. Apparently, there's an otter family that also lives on that 5-acre property. We haven't seen them yet.
Right. The property I'm on now, there's like 24 acres of like untouched forest that's
Well,
on
that's
this
cool.
property. And there's like an old swimming pool that was from like the 1960s, 1970s, something like that. It's really old, broken down. And there's a snapping turtle.
Sorry.
It's fine. There's a snapping turtle that laid eggs up on the property, and I got to see them all hatch. I think, Brian, did you see it on my story?
Yeah. I did see that. That was actually
It was
really cool.
37 babies in total.
Yeah, you got them all in a
Wow.
bucket. Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you get them as they were hatching?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Well,
so you see
I
them
knew-
put out the egg and everything.
Yeah, so I knew they were there, and I was like doing schoolwork on my computer, and like one of the other people who lives here like comes screaming at my door like, the turtles are hatching, the turtles are hatching. So I threw my computer on the floor and like ran the fastest I've ever ran to see it, and like they laid on a hill, and you could just see a trail of snapping turtles going down, and I put them all in a bucket so I could make sure, you know, they've all absorbed their yolk and are like ready to be released. And
That's
it was
awesome.
cool. Like I opened up the hole where they were coming out of, so I could like help any that need help, and just started pulling them out the hole. Sadly, I didn't get to see any still in the egg, but it was pretty cool.
That's still neat though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still super cool.
But we have like a marsh that's like right next to it, so we have like a lot of frogs and a lot of snakes and turtles and all sorts of things. So
See, I didn't even think there was that many like marsh areas up there. Like when we were driving back, we kept seeing them on the
Yeah,
sides of the
there's a
roads
lot.
and stuff. I was like, wow, I didn't think there was that many like up out of the state of Florida, I guess you could say. But I guess anywhere between the mountains and stuff where the water settles could be like a marshy area.
Yeah, I was also really surprised because, like, just as we're like driving on the highway from like where we are near Boston up to New Hampshire, like you just see marshes everywhere. Like even on the side of highways, you see like reeds growing out the marsh, and
Yeah,
it's cool. I love to see it because you know, good biodiversity. But yeah.
it's pretty. Yeah, because I'm so used to only seeing that in Florida. So
Kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not smacking my computer.
The mud
It's
diver's like on your shoulder right now. Oh, there he goes.
It's definitely a change because when I was first in the U.S., I was in the West, so this scenery is a lot different to that. But,
You guys are still looking to move up there then?
yeah, we're looking to move up close to Nerd like within 20 minutes.
That's awesome. Well, I hope it really works out for you guys. That'd be
That'd be super cool.
really cool and good for you.
Thanks, man. I'm praying. I'm waiting for Jake to get back to me, but he's slow.
Yeah. Did you see the new update video Donnie did?
I
That
saw
was so
that.
sad.
What happened? No, I didn't.
Watch Nerd's last video and
Okay.
he changed the beginning, like where he introduces everybody.
Right? Oh,
I guess
Jeremy's not in it.
It was so sad and like no, because he left everybody in it, but it was like the last time. So it was like it's like first Kevin, then Rob, and then Jeremy. And when it got to Jeremy,
It like goes on.
it like goes
fire.
black and white. The music changes to like this sad music, and then it says Jeremy has left Nerd and moved to North Carolina to pursue his music career. And then it went to Connor, and it was like Connor left to go to college. And then it went to Gianni, and it said something about Gianni left to be a personal trainer or something. And I was like,
Didn't he fail miserably though?
I don't know.
Oh,
But I thought it was
I think
pretty
I remember
funny.
Jeremy telling me like he got fired from that or quit from that.
No, he left. He left Nerd. He didn't get fired.
Right, I know, but from the personal trainer thing.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, the
Oh,
first
yeah,
one.
in my head, but
Yeah.
That's not good.
that's sad, man. That intro was so good.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. Donnie's got to go back to the drawing books for that one.
Right. I feel like I wonder if he's gonna like heavily change it or just switch out Jeremy for Jake.
He might switch out Jake. I don't think Jake likes being on the camera too much, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen him once. Like,
Yeah, I don't think he really likes it too much.
but he's
But then
I
again, he's
remember
the person that
Donnie
only has to
is-
work 5 days a week.
Donnie is hilarious, man. I remember I was up there, you know, just looking at some things, and I said hi to him, and he was like, "Do I know you? Am I supposed to know you? Are you someone important?"
Sounds like Donnie.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
Anyways, I think we can go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys for coming and having a chat.
You're welcome, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's pretty much that.
Can you say bye?
Bye.